So my senior capstone this year was to kind of revitalize LHS Women's Empowerment Club. But first, I want to cover what empowerment truly means. So empowerment is the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. Empowered people create an empowered society. In our community of Liberty, Missouri, we're surrounded by individuals that deserve to be empowered by virtue of their claiming systems. So I was proud to take on the leadership for Liberty High School's Women's Empowerment Club, of which I got to be a founding member my freshman year when the club was just started by a senior at that time, Grace Guillaume. So my capstone this year was to take this club and bolster it into an organization that has the capacity of being, because empowered women are who creates an empowered society. So to do this, we had to first figure out a way to get our name out there. So first, I have to owe all of my thanks to Caroline Shotwell, because she started this year with the same mission as I, to rebuild our Women's Empowerment Club. And also thank you to the help of Bryson Cummage, who was able to help us to get a sponsor for our club from Union State Bank right out the bat. After an in-person meeting with Lori Ewing, a sponsor from the bank, we had a partnership with someone who was willing to help us in our journey. And as soon as we had taken those big steps to get our name out there, especially in that community, we were already on our way to building a more cohesive club. So then, what did we do this year? In order to transform WEC into a truly active club, we had to do a few key events that we participated throughout the entirety of the school year. First, I'd like to highlight our blue bags. What we did is we hosted a big event for the members of our club to put little candies in bags that we sold at lunchtime. This accomplished a few goals. First, we raised money to make blanket supplies. We then found a fun way to connect with people and others at our school so that they could not only interact with us, but others in their community as well. And then finally, we helped raise awareness about the club. Something as simple as a fundraising event that happens at lunch lets people know not only that you exist, but it also gets your name out there. The second big thing we did is making blankets. We used the funds from the blue bags, as mentioned earlier, to buy fabrics to have a big event where most of the members of our club came and we watched a movie and we tied blankets for Hope House, a shelter in Kansas City which helps those who've survived domestic abuse and homelessness throughout our community. But then we also asked our members to bring in donations off of Hope House's most needed list, so that way we could not only provide them with something that we had taken the time to make, but also things that they desperately needed in their community involvement efforts. And then finally, we operated in the second half of the year making candy grams. Not only did this raise money for our big event, which I'll talk about soon, but also it helped us raise money to what the seniors want to do after the school year ends for us, which is to redecorate our nursing room. In Liberty High School, we've got a nursing room that's safe to say is pretty drab. The walls are brown, it's got one chair and a refrigerator, and that's about it. And both of those items were donated by teachers, not our school. So Women's Empowerment Club wants to take the time after the seniors graduate to come back in, put in a fresh coat of paint, maybe get a rug and a nice lamp, and create a safe space for women who are having children or already have children within the Liberty High School teaching staff right now. So once we had a few big kickoff events from the beginning of the year, we kind of had to take a pivot and figure out what our cornerstone event wanted to be for the club. Because these events were so wonderful, I wanted to do a little bit more in terms of how we could serve the student body at LHS. I wanted a cornerstone WEC event which would offer services specifically to women within our high school, as is the name of our club. So just 2 years ago, Julie Moore at district office suggested that we opened kind of an open house which featured women within our community. And last year it just didn't happen. So this year I was bound determined to create something for the students of LHS. And what better thing to do at a high school than a career event? The idea was born into a women-focused open house where LHS students could come and talk to women within the KC metro area from all different areas of expertise and career experience. So then we had to jump straight in to our planning process. We started first with how we secured that administration permission to host the event, which in and of itself is no small feat. But once we had that, we had to begin contacting our community straight off the bat in January. I reached out to so many different people through a variety of emails, phone calls, and even a few texts. And at one point in time, that email chain that I had was about 40 responses long. But we had to confirm attendance and interest in our event to make sure that it was something that not only we were interested in, but our community was as well. So once we kind of sent out feelers, we had to get to the next part and actually confirm that people were going to show up, which was done yet again through another onset of emails. But yet it still wasn't real. We had to make maps of the spaces we use, so we're grateful to have to say that we could use both the black box and the view here. We also had to buy a list of our supplies. We had to actually assemble what would happen. And all through that, we had to ensure that we were carefully budgeting what we were willing to spend and making trips around town to ensure that we had the right supplies in the right capacity. Once that was done, it came day of. Confirmation emails were sent, supplies were gathered, and now it was time for us to actually happen. And I don't think it was real for me until the people that came to present actually showed up. On screen, you'll see a few photos of our Empower Hour. Empower Hour featured 11 women or groups in all different career fields from the KC metro area, ranging from business owners to Ford employees to pharmacists and so much more. The goal of this event was to connect LHS students with outside opportunities or even just give them perspective into what was possible. We also had the pleasure of hosting a panel at the end of our event where we got to hear amazing stories of women in the workforce to give hope and advice to individuals entering either college or the career force. And because of this, we were able to create a connection not only between the club and more people at LHS, but between these community members and our members in school. So, I have to end with a thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up, but most importantly, thank you to Ms. Cummins. You are the teacher who's always put your support behind me, especially in this. I owe a lot to you, and I don't know if it would have been possible without you. So thank you for believing in me. You are one of the strongest women that